Tom Carlson
is not available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone. Press the pound key to end recording.
Hello, Tom Carlson. This is Danielle K. Koa trying to get in touch with someone from your department. I have left a couple messages with your supervisor, Stephanie, and an email to your entire department. I'm just trying to do a follow-up from the disturbance that was in front of my house last week on August 20th. You came out as a mediator to help facilitate a conversation with our next-door neighbor, and now I'm having trouble getting communication on your end to have anybody follow up. And so we're getting kind of concerned, feeling like maybe you're shutting us out or that we just can't get the kind of level of courtesy, professionalism, and respect that you showed to our neighbor. And so if you could please treat this matter with the same level of urgency, I would really appreciate it, because we'd like to keep the lines of communication open. You understand our frustration. And so if you can have you or your supervisor contact me, that would be great. 720-443-3264. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Hello, this is Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. This is Tom Carlson with Neighborhood Services for the City of North Glen.
Hi, Tom. Thank you for returning my call.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah, Stephanie returned your call. She was in the office. She's been out with an illness for the past couple days, so.
Okay.
But she should be back this afternoon, so she'll probably give you a call back too. What's going on?
Okay, well, do you have a few minutes to talk?
Sure, yes, I do.
Okay, good. Well, I need to be honest with you, Tom. We're still pretty upset about the disturbance that took place last week. I don't know if you have any idea about what's been going on with us for the past 4 years, but this really disrupted our day, and it's carried over to today. My husband, it's been hard for him to earn a living when he has to show up late for work because of these types of things. And so what we really need to know from you, first of all, is when we can expect our next door neighbor to be building that privacy fence.
There's nothing that would, see, this is the thing, is there's no agreement made.
Okay, so when you guys went back over to talk to her, what was established? Because we were told by you and Stephanie that you were going to go back over there and tell her to leave us alone and encourage her to build a privacy fence. And since then, she has not left us alone. And in fact, on Monday, we were trying to have an art project and paint our shed, and she started taking pictures of us and invading our privacy that way. And so I don't really know what to do, but I just wanted to find out what happened when you went back over, and what did she agree to?
So this is kind of where we're at. We put it out there as far as mediation, and that didn't take place. Didn't seem like anybody was open to it. We're leaving it open. We would like that to happen, where you guys sit down and say, hey, as neighbors, let's agree to this. But that didn't take place. We made this suggestion that would probably help solve the problem, is to put up a 6-foot privacy fence.
And what was her response?
She said, if she could come up with the funds or something like that, she would entertain the idea, but there's nothing that she had agreed on, and we can't force someone to do that.
Okay.
Would that solve a lot of the problem? I think so, but, it's one of these things that until it happens, either the fence happens, or you guys agree to sit down and really work out the issues, this stuff's going to continue to go on. Just because so let me start first by saying your husband explained a lot of what's going on, has been going on the past 4 years, and kind of why, you guys are on edge with, people showing up at your home.
What exactly did he explain? That what do you understand that's been going on?
Well, that you've had the police show up multiple times as far as social services and other things, and you haven't gotten a good response back as to what's going on. Apparently, there was mention of death threats or something going on. There was, we saw your website with the pastor and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we have an idea. We get it, but in the same sense, that has nothing to do with your neighbor.
Well,
it's a kind of a two separate issues. I get where you're at, where you guys are like, whoa, we want to be left alone. We don't want to deal with people showing up at our house, especially government, police, whoever. I get that. You guys want to be left alone and raise your family, and that's the dream of everybody, and that's the reality that everybody should be able to live in. And unfortunately, we get called on barking dogs, noodles being put through the fence, stuff like that. And our goal is to, as mediators, is to sit down and say, hey, you guys have to live here, we don't. When we get called, we're going to show up, because that's our job.
Now, is it your job to force people to communicate? Because you're telling me that you can't force her to build a fence, yet you guys forced us out of our home. You invaded our privacy. There were people looking over our fence while my children were playing. And then Stephanie banged on our door so aggressively. If you would like to see the video footage, you might disagree with how your tactics are handled, because frankly they're way too aggressive for this type of non-offense. We didn't even commit a code violation, and then you come at us and force us out of our home and force us into a confrontation when we're trying to avoid this. And what the problem is we have people calling you guys with false allegations and frivolous concerns, and you guys respond right away, yet we get death threats, and I can't get anybody from North Glen to follow up on who is threatening to kill us. And now you want to force us out of our home, and these people who have been trying to kill us, Tom, they impersonate police officers, okay? And that's just one of their tactics on how they can victimize people. And they are being accused of murder right now. And so we don't have time to deal with our neighbor because she can't communicate with us. We have our reasons, and they're damn good, okay? And we don't have to explain them to you or to her. And what we do need from you is we need to know that this kind of harassment is not going to happen. And if she cannot communicate with us, we need to have you tell her to take us to court over that and not to get involved in our lives anymore.
Okay, well, this is what I can tell you. If there is a call that is, as far as any type of a violation, which, someone throwing something over somebody else's fence could technically be littering. It would be kind of a jerk move to charge someone with that. But that would technically be littering. That's the type of stuff we have.
And then that's fine. Then you can charge us with littering. But what we would like for you to do, if it gets to that point, but we don't want you guys, we don't want you to bring your, listen, Tom, you brought the entire task force with the supervisor, with a uniformed officer, with two of you guys with huge badges and tactical gear. You were sent over to intimidate us. And you know what? It worked. Okay. And now today, a whole week later, we're still upset by it, okay? Because just earlier this year, the police were trying to take away my children on some false allegations once again, okay? And so we have some serious issues going on, and you guys don't seem to treat real criminal issues with the same level of urgency. And so In the future, if there is a violation, what I would like to happen is you guys can send us a letter. You can send it in the mail, and we will handle it. If it's our branches, if it's our trash, whatever. But if it's because we don't want to talk to our neighbor, you need to respect our privacy, and so does she. And it's a First Amendment issue, okay? And our freedom of expression is a choice to ignore her. And I don't think it's your position to be forcing us to talk to someone who we don't want to.
So here's the reality of it, is that nobody's forced me to do anything.
You did force us. You forced us out of our home. We did not have a choice. You were banging on our door, unsolicited, hollering at us, unidentifying yourselves, telling us to come out of our house to talk to you. So I definitely feel forced. We did not have an option. And here's another thing. When you left the business card, you didn't even give me 24 hours to call you back. You dropped off a business card saying, please call at 4:30 at night. By 10 a.m. the next day, you guys were banging down my door. That is not reasonable.
Yeah, so here's kind of what happened, just so you understand where everything happens, is that we were called to go talk with your neighbor. That was the whole point of us going over there.
Mm-hmm.
And, given the fact that, I'd showed up the day before, knocked on the door, and left the card, and, I had seen somebody in the window, and I said hello, and left my card on the door, and nobody responded. I figured that that this wasn't going to be something where we get contacted.
So banging down my door was the answer?
Talk with your neighbor about, okay, so this probably isn't going to be mediated. So how do you deal with things in the future? If there's an issue where there's issue between you and your neighbor in the future, how are you going to deal with it?
I'm going to ignore her, because when she lets her dogs bark at 3 a.m. in the morning or at 6 a.m. on the weekends or any other unreasonable time, you know what I do? I close my windows and I put in earplugs, okay? When she's doing things that I don't like, you know what I do? I ignore it. I don't busy myself with her business, and I sure as hell am not going to waste your resources and your time to involve yourself with a personal, private matter. This is not okay. So you come to her house with 4 officers? 4.
Sure.
Is that meant to intimidate us, or is that meant to make us feel good?
Do what?
Is that supposed to make us feel good, or are we supposed to feel intimidated by that?
I don't know how we weren't.
Well, can you put yourself in my position?
I don't know how people ended up at your house. To be honest, we were there to talk with your neighbor, and I could just kind of explain why everybody was there. Me and Michelle were the mediators. Stephanie's the mediator supervisor. She's in charge of the mediation program. Phil is the code officer, and if there was a bunch of stuff in the backyard that we could see from a public access, public viewpoint, which would be her back patio, because she allowed us to get back there and see through the chain link fence. And there was a bunch of litter or there was some type of violation. I mean, you guys could have got a notice to take care.
Right, but you're doing a hypothetical, Tom. There was no violation. And Stephanie, she said, first of all, I didn't like the fact that she pounded on my door 30 times and then pounded on it another 9 times right after that, okay? I didn't like that. And so when I went out to address her, I said I didn't like being harassed. She said, I'm sorry to harass you, but no. She said she's sorry to harass us, but she just wanted to talk, and that there were no violations at all. None. 0. Yet 4 officers were sent to my house on no violations. I'm sorry, Tom. This is just not acceptable.
Yeah, the whole point was to talk with your neighbor, and I didn't even know anybody was going to your house.
Well,
to knock on your door. I was gonna wait and see, but obviously Stephanie had thought that someone might be home, and that she wanted to talk with you guys and see if we can work something out between you and your neighbor, where you guys sit down at the table and discuss 2 adults that have to